What's going on, guys? It's Jeff. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay on. I don't know how long this video is gonna be because I woke up with a pretty massive headache. Well, I had a headache last night. Alexis and I were watching a movie. We were watching Batman. I didn't get to see the newest Batman until last night, so I also tried before that to watch The Dark Knight beforehand, so I had like an accurate representation of what people believe is like the best version of Batman, and obviously comes down to opinions, but I absolutely enjoyed the Batman more than The Dark Knight. Some people were calling it boring or too long or whatever, but sure, could have been a little too long, but I mean, the context, I mean, I'll always welcome it. That's the one thing that a lot of superhero films lack a lot of the time, is a lot of like building with the characters and giving reason as to why they do the things that they do. It's always just more so about like giving them an excuse to use their powers, whereas like Batman should be a little bit more thoughtful than that. I feel like since Batman isn't obviously a superhuman, he should, you know, put a lot more thought into the shit that he does. Whereas it felt like whenever I was watching The Dark Knight, it felt like even when Batman was like punching people, they would like fly backwards. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, he's strong, but it was weird. I don't know how to explain it, but it felt like I absolutely felt all of the impacts of the recent Batman movie, the actual combat scenes of him hitting people and twisting their arms up and parrying and shit like that. I think that did a better representation of how I feel Batman should be fighting. I don't know what it is, but it always felt like Batman to me was like SpongeBob with the blow-up muscle arm thing. It looked like he was so strong and blown up, but then when he punched people, the impact wasn't that crazy, but they would still go flying. It was just weird shit. It's typical superhero shit, and it's just weird to me that Batman is portrayed that way because he's clearly not a superhuman, so why is he launching people? Whatever, man. I know that there's gonna be a lot of Batman enjoyers that are fucking screaming at me, telling me about how strong Batman is. I don't give a fuck. In my opinion, that was the best Batman movie. I've literally only watched 2 Batman movies, but I watched the most critically acclaimed one, so I like the Batman. Good movie. So there's a lot more leaks coming out now about Modern Warfare 2. I don't know why specifically today. There's just a whole bunch of leaks that are coming out now. There's like apparently gameplay that's floating around and shit. I know for a fact that that gameplay is multiple months old, so I don't even know like what game mode that was in. I don't know if that's Warzone 2 or DMZ or what. I was gonna not upload today because this headache was insane, but since everybody's leaking shit, you know. Also, by the way, I got a cool influx of people that subbed yesterday. I don't know why particularly yesterday, but if you're new here, subscribe. I appreciate it. I don't know if it's due to the MW2 sniping or just a combo of shit or what. Oh yeah, and also in yesterday's video, I was talking about, what was it? I was saying how certain people said that aim assist is stronger on PC versus console, and I was basically arguing that it's not true and that like it doesn't change from platform to platform. And then people brought up the whole scale aim assist to FOV thing. Now, while that does actually affect your aim assist, it does technically make it stronger, I guess. There's positives and negatives, and there are pro players in Warzone and pro players in actual like competitive Call of Duty. Some of them have it turned on, some of them have it turned off. So there's no still like true one tried and true way of you know, of which one you should and shouldn't have on. It makes the bubble the same size basically no matter the distance, which will be good for getting in the ballpark aiming at people, but it also has that slowdown far before anything else. I don't need to be stressing myself out over a sniping lobby, but it's not gonna help my headache for sure. Also, people were saying things along the lines of like other details about DMZ or Warzone 2. I can't tell because the way that they made it sound, the changes sound like they're supposed to be for DMZ, but apparently they're actually for Warzone. I don't really know. Like the way that people are reacting to that over on Twitter, they're saying shit like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? They're saying things like there's gonna be more Blackout than Warzone in this iteration of the game, where I don't know if a lot of you guys even played Blackout, but the inventory / UI was considered one of the worst things about Blackout. That part of the game had drawn so much criticism about how the armor works and how it sits inside of your inventory and how you can go through all of the UI and stuff like that, trying to loot things and go through bags and other shit like that on keyboard and mouse versus on controller, by the way. You can't do over on controller at all, like the way that you could just click on a specific item, but on controller you had to scroll through them and then equip it one by one. Now, obviously there are some settings that can mitigate a lot of those issues, but initially launched, yeah, that was definitely a big issue. Now, obviously, I mean, over here on MW2, scale aim assist with FOV isn't even a setting, but Jeb, big fan if it's really you. Does Vegeton look anything like Jeb? Come on! Now I can be degraded by Jev. Okay. Yeah, there was something along the lines of like there's gonna be some sort of UI system and inventory system now where it's just, when I say DMZ, obviously I'm talking about Escape from Tarkov, or if you want to look at it even in like a BR perspective, think of like PUBG inventory management. Now think of Warzone with that type of inventory management where you have to worry about like potentially weight, size. You can carry maybe more than 2 weapons and shit like that. Like, it's just, obviously I'm not a big PUBG player. I don't know that much about PUBG, but every single time that as a Call of Duty player, my simple brain, my simple gaming FPS brain, every single time I see an inventory over on games like shooting games where I have to actually look through all of the inventory, a bag on a player, I panic and I can't see. I don't understand what the fuck is going on. Tarkov has a similar thing when, you know, you kill somebody, you go through this whole high risk, high reward shit, the fucking guy, and then you have to sit there and panic, like, go through all of his inventory and shit. Oh! Oh my god, what am I doing? Holy fuck. Alright. GG's. Second place wasn't even close. Holy fuck. Quick little multi. Yeah, basically the fear here is that the average Call of Duty player is going to be overwhelmed by systems like this, literally an inventory system. Listen, I'm a longer Call of Duty player than most people. I should be allowed to talk about us, right? We don't have the highest IQ, man. You only have to join one lobby to find that out. There's some rumors about, like, in order to even pick up armor, you gotta, like, get a satchel and shit like that. Like, I don't know. Obviously, all of this shit is subject to change. It can definitely change, especially hearing about backlash and things like that. And also, since they were asking, you know, other creators and streamers and stuff like that, feedback on the game and contacting individuals like they've contacted me, they're obviously taking feedback into consideration, at least more so than I felt like before. So I feel like if they're gonna be making some sort of like big sweeping change like this and potentially disrupting the flow of what Warzone even is, it just makes me feel like not everything is set in stone with the way that they're gonna do it. The thing is, how much of it is set in stone and how much of it is not this many months out? I mean, we have to assume we got maybe like, what, another 10 months or some shit like that before Warzone 2. And the thing is, like, DMZ, I would be fine with how they were talking about inventory management and shit like that, because that makes more sense. For an extraction-based game mode, just like Escape from Tarkov, that makes complete sense to have the inventory and weight and all that shit be, like, hyper-realistic, or at least give a little bit more meaning to your life and shit like that within a multiplayer setting. Yeah, so there's gameplay floating around out there. I don't know necessarily if it's Warzone 2 or DMZ, and honestly, at this point, we're hearing mixed things about how DMZ is developing and how Warzone 2 is developing and what's the difference between the both of them, or if there's even gonna be any difference between them at all. If they use them all in a similar scenario, but then DMZ is like, it has the marketplace and shit like that, because obviously an Escape from Tarkov type of game, you need a marketplace. I have no idea how they're gonna do that. I don't know shit about that, and none of that has been leaked or anything. Hasn't been clarified. If we have an in-game currency, how do you earn that currency? Are they gonna reset that currency consistently every season? There's so many questions, and obviously they'll all be answered once we start playing the games, but I'm more curious about what is and isn't set in stone. I don't think Warzone benefits from making it more realistic in terms of like cumbersome UI and things like that. Speaking of the flow of the game, is this whole other thing that is saying something about you have to go into strongholds on the map in Warzone. You have to go and clear out some sort of stronghold with enemy AI inside of it in order to get your loadout. The entire identity of Warzone is to get your loadout. The majority of videos that are made are based around your loadout. That's kind of what Warzone is. Obviously, the base BR, it wasn't always that. It was just ground loot exclusively. If you're gonna have a mixture of both, I mean, why not make it so the thing that people are investing all their time into becomes something that is actually, like, one of the main focuses of the game? Why the fuck would I want to sit there and try to level up all of my guns for Warzone 2 when I maybe, at chance, can go and get my loadout? I can't even guarantee it every single game. And I can't imagine how wild the places would be knowing that all of these players are gonna try to adjust and try to get all of their, you know, loadouts immediately as soon as the game starts. So all of the hotspots are all gonna be stronghold. Like, there's problems, man. On this headache's getting up there, so yeah, okay, I'm done playing. Good plays. Yeah, there's a bunch of information leaked. Headache's rough. The details sound rough. There might be more info that comes out soon about it. I don't know if that leaked gameplay is the only thing that is coming. Yeah, we'll see. God, hope this headache goes away.